coughing all last week. Couldn't get through an hour show. Barely got through a half-hour show. So today I brought on the fan favorites, the best of the best. What's up, Tom?
I mean, it seems like when it rains, it pours for you. There's like 19 things going on. But as Shawn Michael is saying, yes, I have a Scooball MVP ticket, and that number has moved dramatically. I have it at 120 to 1, and throughout the weekend it was down as low as a 45 to 1. It's back up to like 100 to 1, so whatever it might be. But the MVP race is really interesting because obviously Judge being hurt changes things dramatically. And I want to say that if the season ended today, there's no scenario where Cal Raleigh wins.
What? He's the favorite right now, minus 135.
And it's wrong. Just because he's the betting favorite. Cal Raleigh, positionally, catchers don't produce. And having a lot of home runs is great. But in literally no other area does he exceed Judge. Judge is better in basically, if not every conceivable area. It's his WRC plus is higher.
Judge.
Everything is higher.
Is in like the Ohtani situation of last year where Ohtani only had to focus on hitting. He didn't pitch. If Judge is going to be the DH the rest of the year, obviously there's a little bit in there that he's not playing the field. However, if Judge is that great, like an Ohtani is, where when he's just focusing on one thing, he gets better, how scary is that?
I mean, I don't think that's an issue. Like, I would not factor that in if that was like, if I had a vote, I would be like, oh, it's not like Judge already played the field. He's already been good at that. But every other stat, Judge is just like, Judge hits 40 plus home runs. He's also hitting nearly 350. Like Cal Raleigh isn't touching that. His WRC plus is higher. His WOBA is higher. Like every underlying metric and counting stat outside of home runs, Judge is better. So
if for Scuba to win MVP, you think Judge really just has to sit out a lot?
The Scooball MVP was just really a play on the price where I want to buy into the narrative that he wins back-to-back Cy Youngs. And then we have this toss-up where essentially Judge and Cal Raleigh will cannibalize each other. And then we'll see Scooball gain some of the votes, and I'll have a good closing line number at a certain point. That's what it really comes down to.
Okay. Always looking for the good lines. That's how Tom plays it, and that's how we're going to play it today because we've got a Blue Jays money line at minus 110. Yeah. This one is scary, Tom. Chris Bassett on the road. Come on.
Zach Eflin's terrible. I know you were just saying that you and Matt want the under on Zach Eflin strikeouts, and I think you said outs recorded.
Outs, yeah.
That would be great because that would imply that he's getting blown up.
Yep.
And that's what we should be seeing. It is obviously, as you know, it is scorching hot across the East Coast. It is fantastic hitting weather in Baltimore. Zach Eflin with a 38% fly ball rate and a 36% hard contact rate against a Blue Jays lineup that is also scorching hot. They should be pouring runs across. So the number this morning was, I think it was minus 118. It's minus 112 now. I have it at minus 110. Like this is just objectively a great spot for the Blue Jays to bounce back, and the Orioles are dead in the water.
Edward Cabrera pitching for the Marlins today up against the Cardinals. Yeah. The Cards don't really strike out that much, so what stands out about a 4.5?
I love what I've seen from him recently. He's gotten the walks under control, which is absolutely fantastic. That was one of the things that always was a little bit of an issue for him. Over on the season, if you just look at the season numbers, his walk rate is still hovering around 10% or just below it now because he's gone a couple starts in a row without some walks. So he could get the strikeouts going with a 25 or 26% strikeout rate, but it wasn't always efficient, whereas his pitch count would be driven up just because of the walks. That naturally happens. But he's been over 4.5 strikeouts in 11 straight starts. It's been 2.5 months since he has not had at least five strikeouts. The Cardinals are, they're a team that don't strike out necessarily a whole ton, but if you look over their month-over-month stats, their power is also dropping. In July alone, their ISO is down to 140 as a team versus right-handed pitching. So they may not strike out, but they're also not doing the thing that Cabrera necessarily struggles with, which theoretically, at least historically, would be fly balls, which he is also getting under control, which is another reason that I like him today. So he's not walking. The fly balls aren't an issue. And I like what I've seen from him. He just needs to keep things controlled and push into the 6th inning.
I want to address something in the chat, and I'm going to get Tom's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yankees will fade out of the playoffs. Yeah. And this isn't the first one. Some others in the chat are talking about the Yankees not making the playoffs. Put your money where your mouth is, guys. Plus 570 for the Yankees to not make the playoffs. Tom, thoughts on the Yankees?
Yeah, I actually was talking about that over the weekend. It was on Sunday or Saturday night after they lost to the Phillies before they won on Sunday. The price was 470. Like a part of me just wants to play that just because, as a Yankees fan, get some silver lining in there. Last year, I bet on the Rangers to miss the playoffs, and lo and behold, that comes through. And I'm not happy about it, but I'll take a Rangers at. I think I got them at 360 to miss the playoffs. Like I'll take a couple hundred on my favorite team to miss the playoffs.
But here's the thing. We don't know what the Yankees are going to do at the deadline yet. We also don't know the status of Judge, but my guess is Judge is going to just DH, which, whatever, fine. We've already made it to the World Series playing crappy defense anyway.
Right.
The pitching is the issue. Can they get another pitcher at the deadline, the Yankees, maybe another utility player? I'm not playing a futures until I know what's going on at the deadline. And I know that's crappy because obviously there's going to be teams that you could get some value on if you get them before the move.
Right.
But I just don't like betting those kinds of uncertainties. How about you?
Right. And I mean, it's you just have to tell yourself a story. Like what's the I forgot on what book that I saw, like you can bet stage of elimination. I think it might be on TK. We can bet stage of elimination. Like, frankly, even if Judge was healthy, like, I don't think they're good enough to win the World Series. Honestly, I don't think
Me either. They probably lose in the divisional round.
Right. So it's like, you could bet on them to miss the playoffs at a big number. I understand that. The additions that they make aren't good enough, or they don't make enough additions. The Blue Jays are hot. The Red Sox are playing well. The Guardians are seemingly turning things around, but now they're having roster issues with players being suspended again. The Astros win the division, and one of the Mariners or the Rangers make it. So, like, there is a spot where the Yankees do get pushed out of the playoffs. So I wouldn't mind a small play on them at plus 500, and then more importantly, a stage of elimination divisional round probably to get eliminated. They're not good enough. That's what it comes down to.
They're not good enough as long as they don't go out and get some crazy name pitcher that makes their starting rotation much better and more reliable. Take a load off of Max Fried and Carlos Rodon.
The problem is that there's no one available. Like there's no pitcher that fits the mold that would have that type of impact.
Well, especially because they don't need someone after the end of next year. Garrett Cole probably comes back second half.
No, he'll be back in like May. If he had Tommy John in February or March, 13 months. That's normal.
So they don't really need anyone more than a rental.
Yeah, and I just don't think there's anyone that's good enough to get it. Like Seth Lugo signed the extension. Mitch Keller's a name that keeps popping up from the Pirates.
Yeah.
Mitch Keller in theory would be a good pitcher for the Yankees, at least the Yankees team, because he's a significant ground ball pitcher. So he wouldn't be susceptible to too many fly balls. Sandy with the Marlins, his name has always come up as like, oh, is he going to be a potential trade candidate? But now the Marlins are surging.
Well, the crazy thing is Zach Gallen's the big name out there, but he hasn't even been that good.
Zach Gallen's okay, right? Like I understand, especially yesterday, like a lot of people were talking about backing the Diamondbacks, and a lot of Zach Gallen's metrics this year should indicate that he should be turning the corner because he is due for positive regression, where his xFIP is much better than his ERA. But that hasn't happened yet. And like you are banking on something that hasn't happened, and the strikeouts are a little bit down. I was never sold on Zach Gallen as being an ace. I know when he was traded from the Marlins to the Diamondbacks, if I remember correctly, years ago, that's the type of prospect he was. But he's a good pitcher. He's not great, and he's struggling this year.
Who's a team at the deadline? I mean, now that we're like the week of the deadline, Who's the team you have your eye on maybe for a bet in the futures market?
So I placed a couple. It's the Cubs because
where'd you still find value on them?
I placed a Cubs versus Phillies to meet in the NLCS. It's not either team to beat either team. It's just that's the NLCS matchup. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Cubs versus Phillies. Name the finalist. 16-1. So, it comes down to like everyone's saying the Dodgers, like, okay, it's the Dodgers. It's like, well, are we going to bet on them? It's like, no, it's like, okay, well, they're still the Dodgers. It's like, well, Max Muncy's on his way back, but when he comes back, is he going to be good? Because he's in extremely up and down year. Blake Snell still isn't back. Sasaki still isn't back. Everyone's just saying like, oh, it's the Dodgers. They'll be good when it counts. It's like, are they? Because there's a path where the Dodgers have to go through the Cubs, Phillies, and Mets, two of those three teams potentially that they have to play before they get to the NLCS. So the attrition will get to the Dodgers at a certain point. And if the Cubs and or Phillies can be on the other side of that and then avoid those teams and then have to face the winner or vice versa, I think that's a good spot to have at 16-1. And I know Sean is saying about the Tigers. And it's the same thing with the Tigers. Like, I have a lot of interest in like a Tigers versus Astros or Tigers versus Blue Jays ALCS final instead of saying one team to win it, because you're effectively getting a better number. Now, as I always say, I could lose this bet the day the playoffs start, because if the Cubs and the Phillies are on the same side of the bracket, then I'm just dead. Like, that bet is just dead. And yes, Joe, don't forget about the Brew Crew. The same thing I'm saying about the Cubs, you can apply to any longer shot team. Cubs, Brewers, or Phillies, Brewers, NLCS matchup, and that effectively gets you a better price.
The team I'm not sleeping on, even though I'm very nervous about it, I'm hesitant. I want to place this bet. Seattle Mariners. The Mariners should be going for another bat at the deadline. Their pitching has always been great. It's the hitting that's been the issue. They're rectifying the problem by making the additions that they have in the last couple of years. You got a Rosarena, you've Cal Raleigh now. And then, of course, the recent addition for the Seattle Mariners,
Josh Naylor.
Yes, thank you. So when you get Naylor over, I just really like Seattle this season. And even though in the division right now, they're still behind.
4 games back?
4 games back of the division. But there's value on the Mariners, whether you like them to win the AL, you like them to maybe meet in the ALCS, you like them to win the division. Thoughts on the Mariners for you?
I really like the Mariners. Like, I'm very high on Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and Brian Wood. Like, I think that's maybe the best pitching trio you could possibly get. I don't want to say across baseball, because if Nola comes back and he's at least serviceable, if you put him behind Wheeler and Sanchez, that's really good. Woodruff's back, he looks good. Woodruff, Peralta, and Miz is obviously fantastic. But a trio of those three from the Mariners, I think, is really strong. It can go head-to-head with basically anyone. It comes down to the hitting. And again, I think one more move is needed for the Mariners for me to truly buy in.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm definitely not going to sleep on them, even though they always find a way to blow things up in September. Tom Vecchio, what are you up to these days? Where can people find your stuff?
Normal stuff at Sports Grid, doing stuff throughout the week. It's obviously a little quiet leading up until football season, but baseball show on Sundays, various appearances, and then I could not be more excited for football. I despise the summer.
Oh, well, that's why you're in all black.
It's way too hot. It's unacceptable. Give me the fall with 50-degree temperatures.
Yeah, I like the fall, definitely not the winter, but I am very excited for football. Feel like the energy has shifted. It's kind of like that time of year when you're about Thanksgiving and everyone's all excited for the holidays. They start shutting it down. This week was the week everyone starts feeling those football vibes.
It's like the calm before the storm. Yeah.
Right. Training camp's underway. Everyone's still happy because, knock wood, we haven't seen the major injury yet. Like the big.
That's true.
So everyone's still happy until they're not. I know Traylon Burks is out, but like that's been really.
I wouldn't classify that as major, but we have a preseason game on Thursday. We have training camp.
Do you do the Hall of Fame game?
Will I bet it? No, I won't bet that game. But it's just more important from a player usage standpoint about like which players are going to be having expanded roles moving into the season, what the lineups are going to look like.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hall of Fame game is kind of, I feel like everyone's like, oh, training camp's the start of football. Hall of Fame game, the start of football. Preseason games are on, the start of football. Then we get week 0. It's football. But week 1 of college football, it's really football. But then the NFL starts. Oh, it's football season. We just say it's football season every week from this point out.
And are they doing the Brazil game again this year? It's like Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday.
They've got a few internationals. They've got London, Brazil, Madrid. Right. I think they're still doing the Mexico City one, Germany. Right. They've got a lot of different places.
Honestly, I don't keep up with those until it's the week of.
Same. Yeah. And my Ravens aren't playing in any, so I don't care.
Right.
Tom Vecchio, catch him at Tom_Vecchio1 on X.
Yep.
We'll see you again soon. Good luck to those bets tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Time for the prop queen edges of the day.